to Fiddlesticks and Stitches. I'm Fiddle. Today's project is the entryway room. Materials will be listed in the description box below. This is going to be a little different from the other ones that I have done. I used a computer program called Sketchbook to create the layout before I even touched the room. I had already somewhat an idea of what I wanted to do with it, and I wanted to make a statement on the floor, and that was the design I came up with. Originally, the thought was to make all the cogs and gears out of actual metal and inlay them into a wood flooring. However, I quickly realized that that wasn't going to be a possibility. But I would like to do it someday because I really want to see that as the floor. This is the next design that I'd come up with for the walls. It was okay, but it wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be. I definitely wanted the gray stripes and I wanted the bold red. But I wasn't sure from there what else I was doing. I went back into Sketchbook and I came up with this plan. While out While out on a walk, while out on a walk, while out on a walk, I found a pretty interesting roll of tape. You can see the name there, and I decided that I could use that as a texture for the walls inside the dollhouse. So I went ahead and spray painted the tape gold. The next step in the process was making the wood floor itself. I used balsa wood and I actually cut out the center because I wanted it to be the raw wood. Unfortunately, in the end, I didn't stick with it and I ended up painting it black. After that, it was just deciding on how dark of a wash I wanted to make and actually painting them. The idea that I came up with for the floor was just buying the metallic paper and gluing it down on top of the wood, which I did. I definitely want to, as I said, try the metal next go round because I made it to where I can pull this floor out and that will help for remodeling. After painting, I used super glue to glue the wood together and then test fit it in the house before cutting and gluing the gears down. It fits perfect. I ended up cutting out 11 gears in silver, copper, and bronze color paper by just taping my printed design on the back of it. I used both tiny scissors and a cutting knife to cut these pieces out. Now me says past me should have just stuck with the box cutter. It would have made it a little bit easier for both me and the gears because when using the scissors it caused the teeth of the gears to bend and that left crease marks, but you really cannot see what crease marks were once there, so in the end I guess it kinda doesn't matter, but I would still say on the safe side to definitely go with a knife instead of scissors for that part. And to also cut from the front to the back, not the back to the front. I did back to the front, and that caused lots of fraying around the edges. Whereas if I would have cut from the front, I would have the actual knife cut marks, not the tearing. I have come up with a newer solution. Ah, it just came to me while doing the voiceover. I'm going to try using veneers instead of metal. I think that would be a lot better. Light bulb. Why didn't I think of that before? I'm gonna have to find out where I can get that now, I guess. Okay, now back to the floor. I used a combination of super glue, Elmer's glue, and wood glue. Super glue to initially put down the gears, and then wood Elmer's glue mixture for the overcoat. While that was drying, I moved on to the walls inside the house. They are pretty straightforward. I just put a piece of paper up to the side of the house and traced the door to make sure it was where it needed to be, cut the paper, and glued it in. For the trim, I used the actual sticks of balsa wood in the house against wherever I was going to be putting them, measured with the pencil, brought it out, cut it with my knife. I used my Dremel to smooth the edges, painted them black, and glued them in place. This room for the most part is going to be empty because I'm going to be hanging a air balloon from the ceiling down into the middle of the room so that way I'm not covering up the center of the floor. I am going to have two pieces of furniture on either side of the front door, one being a shoe bench and the other being a key table. I hope you enjoyed this quick little update, and always thank you for watching and see you next time.